Spoiler alert, Dumbledore dies. Spoiler alert, Hans is actually evil. Spoiler alert, Darth Vader is Luke's father. Have you ever been in a situation where you're just getting enthralled in a story and then somebody spoils it for you? Isn't it the worst? Well, we have this question. Why do we hate spoilers so much? Well, tonight we're going to talk about why spoilers take away from our enjoyment of a story, and in turn why we don't want to be those people who spoil stories for others. Now, as an avid movie fan and researcher of this topic, I've come across 3 reasons why spoilers take away from our enjoyment of a good story. And I've organized them into a little something that I like to call the 3 S's. We have 1, the story, 2, the surprise, and 3, the suspense. So we're going to start with the story. Stories are important to us. They're the reason why we listen to music, to hear stories. They're the reason why we watch movies, to see stories. And I think in one way or another, we're all familiar with an image that looks something like this. Family, friends, sitting around a campfire, roasting s'mores, sharing stories with each other for entertainment. Or even something like the Judds sing about. Grandpa with his granddaughter on his lap, telling her a story about the good old days. Because stories that are things that are passed from generation to generation. They transcend time. They transcend space. Stories transport us to other places. Whether it be the winter wonderland of Narnia, or the bustling streets of New York City, even the wizarding world of Harry Potter. But the truth is this, when someone spoils something for us, we don't really get to go to those places. In an article on The Atlantic, Jennifer Richler says, spoilers remind us that a story is just a story. It's hard to get transported when you already know where you'll end up. In real life, you don't have that knowledge. Spoilers keep us from experiencing the magic of a story. And they also keep us from being surprised, which leads us to our second point. Now, some surprises are good, some are not so good, but whether they're good or bad, you can't deny this. Surprises demand our attention. In their article on the valence of surprise, Brueggemans and Nordeweier suggest this. A surprise is an interruption mechanism that motivates us to pay attention to the unexpected. Some of you were zoning off. But as I look around, I see that all of you are paying attention now. You know why? Because the unexpected motivated you to pay attention. The truth is this. When we don't have the chance to be surprised, we don't have the responsibility to pay attention. And that robs us all of an experience. Now, if surprises are the things that grab our attention, suspense is what keeps our attention, which is our third and final S. Suspense is the reason why I will watch 6 seasons of the same people being lost on an island. And many of you too. Because for some reason there's something that's so interesting about not knowing exactly how it's going to end. This is a principle called outcome uncertainty. In a study titled Enjoying the Possibility of Defeat, the researchers were looking at the connection between online chess players and outcome uncertainty. And what they found is that the players who were involved in really close, tight, competitive matches they enjoyed those far more than the ones that they won by large margins. You can even think about it as a spectator. Which game would you rather watch? The one that's close, it's only a point difference, or the one that's a huge blowout? I think that all of us would much rather enjoy the one that's really close. But we do have one question. Why are we willing to endure suspense for so long? Certainly there has to be some sort of payoff. Well, that's this guy. Sweet relief. In his article, The Mediating Role of Relief, Robert Madrigal says, the extraordinary relief experienced by viewers following a favorable resolution is a prime motivator for people's willingness to endure suspense. It's a high-risk, high-reward scenario. The greater the suspense, the greater the relief in the end, and that makes it all worth it. So to wrap up, we've talked about the 3 S's and their relation to the spoiler. We've talked about how spoilers ruin the story because they don't let surprises grab our attention and they don't let suspense keep it. So don't be a grumpy cat. Nobody wants you to be grumpy cat. Be SpongeBob. And instead of spoiling stories for others, let them get lost in it so that they can use their imagination. Thank you.